एंड वेलकम टू व्हाट कार इंडिया। मेरे साथ मौजूद है इस वक्त मिस्टर राजन अंबा, VP Sales, Marketing and Customer Services, Tata Motors Passenger Business. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for taking time out
Nice
for
to
me.
meet you.
Now, पहला सवाल आपसे ये कि आप 2020 में आपने टाटा मोटर्स ज्वाइन किया और उसके बाद दैट वाज अ वेरी चैलेंजिंग टाइम, बट टाटा मोटर्स हैज़ बीन ऑन अ रोल। बहुत ही बढ़िया पिछले 2-3 साल रहे हैं टाटा मोटर्स के लिए। क्या चीज़ें हैं जो आपके हिसाब से वर्क कर रही हैं टाटा मोटर्स के लिए?
I think first of all, I was lucky. जब timing सही था आने का, Shailesh had come into the picture in April. I joined in October. By that time, the tone, the strategy had already been set. So I was lucky to ride the wave and help facilitate some of the success that we've had. I think fundamentally, the way I look at it, coming from outside the industry, if I put my consumer lens, first of all, it was the design. I think design has played an incredible part in this journey. Today, also pound per pound, for example, when I see a Harrier on the road, it's just so striking. It just stands out incredibly on the road among any of the cars out there. And I think that design has been one of the profound reasons. The other factor has been on safety. I think safety has played a tremendous part. We were the pioneers in the area of safety, especially from a GNCAP perspective, and that kind of also was something very different which the industry had not been talking about or had seen, and that kind of opened the eyes of the consumers to, when you talk about something, then it becomes real, and then people realize how important safety was. So that certainly played an important part, and I think thirdly, our dealer partners who supported us incredibly well. We took some measures and efforts to make sure that they did well, and they were financially strong as well, and their partnership and support really helped us. We expanded a lot, both on the sales side as well as the after sales side, and I think that one of the key other elements for us is the fact that our vehicles are a balanced proposition between design and features and safety and price. Otherwise, it's very easy to get carried away with a lot of gadgets, but you need to strike the right chord so that we put in elements and features which consumers truly find useful and usable. Okay. It shouldn't be like a smartphone, right?
Well, cars are definitely becoming more
more and more, yes.
Now, till 2023, FY 2023, काफ़ी अच्छी सेल्स रही है टाटा मोटर्स की, और दिस होल ईयर, फाइनेंशियल ईयर अच्छा निकल जाएगा। बट उसके बाद जो ग्लोबल न्यूज़ आ रही है वो बहुत पॉजिटिव नहीं है, जिससे जो इन्फ्लेशनरी प्रेशर्स हैं वो बढ़ते दिखाई दे रहे हैं, और साथ ही एक ग्लोबल रिसेशन की बात चल रही है। तो ऐसे में आपको क्या लगता है, ग्रोथ मोमेंटम, सेल्स मोमेंटम, डिमांड मोमेंटम जारी रहने वाला है?
आई थिंक फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल मैं ये कहना चाहूँगा कि India is charting its own journey and path. It's very clear over the last few years. I don't think global recessions, etc., are going to impact us as much as they used to. Just look at the stock markets, where our stock markets are compared to the US or wherever it is. So I'm not an economist, so I won't get into details on that. I'm not able to get into details on that, but I think suffice to say that what we have seen is the fact that India is charting its own path and journey, and there is no very limited cross-pollination that is now happening. And therefore, when we look at from the growth of the industry perspective, the consensus of the industry is about 8-9% growth, and that is probably quite a real number on which to base your business and strategies on. But I think that the consumer is surprising us the way they have surprised us this year in terms of growing this industry to its highest ever level, 3.8, 3.9 million. I think has been a lesson for all of us. The number of launches that have happened, particularly in the SUV category, and the launches that will happen in the next year, you've seen some of them from us here and probably from others as well. I think they will also fuel a lot of interest. I think the need for second cars, I think the need for changing cars faster from the 5-6 years earlier to 4 lakhs, so 4 years, 5 years. People's aspirations are going up, and I think that from in the last 5 or 7 years, from 5.5 lakhs as an average price of a car, it has now gone up to 9.5, 10 lakhs from a sale perspective. So I think that the rules of before no longer apply. The consumer can be unpredictable. in a positive way. I'm saying that.
Yeah.
And having said that, we also know that because of regulations, etc., and because the commodities prices have been going up, these are creating pressures, especially for the lower price segments, as we have seen. But there is still a strong market out there. I think the used car market is been prospering and will continue to prosper a lot more. There will be relatively lesser space for the what you call from a growth perspective, but I think there's sufficient headroom for innovation and for marketeers to get their brand top of mind and ensure that at least in Tata Motors we would strive to get better growth than the average of the industry for sure.
Okay. Now, one more important aspect that you handle is customer service, and वो एक ऐसा point है जो कि काफ़ी tricky है. टाटा मोटर्स के लिए भी वो काफ़ी tricky रहा है. तो आपकी क्या स्ट्रैटेजी है बेहतर कस्टमर सर्विस देने की? जब वो 10 लाख का बैंड बढ़ा है, जब वो 5.5 लाख से 10 लाख एवरेज कार प्राइस हुई है, तो वो 10 लाख जो एवरेज प्राइस हुई है, उसके बाद कस्टमर की एक्सपेक्टेशन भी डबल हो गई है इन टर्म्स ऑफ पोस्ट सेल्स service. They expect better service. They just don't want good service. They want better service and a whole better service experience. So, इसके लिए आप क्या कर रहे हैं?
I think first of all, the selling experience itself is quite important because you're making first impressions there, and we've done a lot of work there in terms of training of our people, not just in terms of technical features, etc., of cars, but also in the way to address consumers. What is the kind of etiquette, what is it that consumers really want to hear typically? Otherwise in the industry we give them all kinds of technical jargon, but I think 95% of the consumers have already done their research, and that's very important to understand that what I'm seeing physically when I've attended to customers is that 9 out of 10 customers already know what they want. They've come to validate what they've read, and it's our job to make sure that we answer their questions and we are able to showcase what they've read about and to be able to translate that into something which they find tangible and useful. So that's the sale part. And also to remember is that it's no longer the person in the family who writes the checks who's making the decision. It is the woman. She may be a housewife, she may be a working person, she's making decisions. Women buyers are increasing. Similarly, children are playing a very, very strong role in car buying, and as it's our job to make sure we address all of them. Otherwise, very typically, we will talk to the male, right?
Yeah.
So these are simple things that we need to understand about consumer behavior and address, which we are trying to educate through a training. We have in excess of, we have almost 1,300 outlets and more than 250 dealers, so dealer partners. So I think that it's a big journey. When you start a process now to percolate that kind of training down into 1,200, 1,300 plus outlets across 250 dealers. So it's been a journey that we started 2 years ago. We made significant progress. We've been tracking it on all metrics, and there has been really significant progress. Having said that, we are not perfect by any means. There is some way to go. Similarly, on the after sale side, we were definitely lacking 2 years back, but there has been a significant movement in the right direction, right from the quality of service or the availability of spare parts or the kind of training or even the number of service outlets that we have. I think over the last 1.5 years or 2 years, we have nearly doubled our service outlets. Plus, we have started other things like easy serve outlets, easy serve bikes, which are able to go to the customer's place and help us to reach customers in a better way and faster way, and are able to do a certain level of repairs which don't require the customer to bring the vehicle to the service workshop. So these are just some of the small things, but at the same time, we have some way to go. I think by the end of this year, we would be in a place where some of our gaps in service workshop availability would be addressed. Also, you have to remember that over the last 2 years, because of the recession in the automobile industry, semiconductors, so on and so forth, spare parts, etc., became a challenging issue. That is now getting rectified. So we have access to all of that as well. So I think we are on the right track. Certainly, there's been a change in perception, but the challenge with today's media-heavy environment is that even one element of unhappiness becomes bigger than it is.
Yeah, but
right?
That's a challenge. That's an equal opportunity challenge.
It's not only that. It's great to have that somebody out there, the guardian at the gate, who keeping us, reminding us that this journey is never ending.
Okay, one question that I have here is कि ये पूरा प्रोसेस में जहाँ पर आप फ्रंट एंड पर भी और बैक एंड पर भी काम कर रहे हैं, इन्वेस्टमेंट कितना जा रहा है, हाउ मच इन्वेस्टमेंट आर यू मेकिंग, जिससे जो कस्टमर का एक्सपीरियंस है वो बेटर हो फ्रॉम टाटा मोटर्स, बिकॉज ज़्यादातर तो डीलर लेवल पे ज़्यादा इन्वेस्टमेंट है, बट फ्रॉम टाटा मोटर्स हाउ मच इज द इन्वेस्टमेंट?
You know, when we were talking offline, you asked me what keeps you awake at night.
Yeah.
This is it. It's not about investment.
Huh.
It's simply about getting everybody's mind to shift into that space to say that after sales service is actually the most important part, because in the lifetime of the car, the customer, even on the regular service basis, will interact with you 4 or 5 times. You'll buy the car once, but they'll interact with you 4 or 5 or 7 times. And that is actually an opportunity for 7 times for us to reinforce the fact that your next car should also be from us. Right? So I think it's not an investment of money that is relevant or important. It is the investment of each and every one of us in the system, including our partners, to make sure that we focus relentlessly on after sales and not just on the sales part.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thanks a lot, Mr.
Thank you.
Amba. Thanks
Pleasure
a lot.
talking to you. Thank you.
Pleasure
Bye-bye.
talking to you.
Likewise.
Thank you.